One night, as I was about to log off to enjoy the night before going to sleep, the long-defunct Croteam community testing Discord server lighted up. An old friend leaving a link to a Steam Workshop collection for Serious Sam Fusion, and the title? Serious Sam Extended Encounters? Surely it can't be it, can it? Oh my god, it is! It seems all finished! At least the TFE part? Who did this? Of course. Wow. You really did it, huh? It's been years, I think, that I sent him the plans and files, not thinking much about it, because I just wanted to move on. And yet, here we are. And that's when I learned that someone is finishing the mod that I cancelled 10 years ago. I guess I should explain what I'm talking about. 12 or so years ago, when I was just a modder in the Serious Sam community, I started a project called Serious Sam HD Extended. It came from this old idea I always had as a kid, where I liked modding game campaigns to be longer adventures by inserting random custom maps into the main campaign. Don't know why I like doing this. I guess I always liked this idea of this grand adventure where there is no stuff from start to finish. The original Unreal game comes to mind as an example, maybe the first Halo. Today there are also grand mods like that for other games like Serpent Resurrection for XN or Perilor for Quake 1. Maybe I should talk about those one day. But it wasn't just that. At the time, before all the leaks of old Serious Sam versions and all that information, we only had so much knowledge about the original Serious Sam plans. The fabled Test 1 version, with all the old designs of enemies and weapons, was also hiding a curious list of levels that showed the original plans. A long journey across Egypt, a Karnak level that had 5 whole sections, not just a single level. Of course there was the planets and Sirius levels too, those were interesting as well. But for me, it was the Egypt levels. Serious Sam HD Extended started as me trying to add just a single level, along the Nile, set before the final level of the first encounter. We seen how the level could have looked like from all released screenshots, and it fascinated me. The Nile is such an important river in the culture of Egypt, and yet it's almost never present in Serious Sam TFA. Then, another level idea. What happened between the levels Oasis and Dunes? Thus, the Dry Valley level became a thing. And then, there was a time where a lot of us in the community were analyzing the background objects in the Karnak levels. That weird step pyramid, the weird patterns of the obelisk, how they were placed on the levels in the background. We would see old screenshots that look almost like Karnak, but also not. And then, wait, those obelisks match up with the background. It's like we were actual archaeologists in Egypt, trying to uncover something ancient that was lost. Eventually, I managed to come up with a layout for the level Karnak Lake and Alley, which turned out to be quite accurate once I could play the old Sam Alpha version. But, as it was always with me, the ideas kept coming. The time Revolution became a thing, we would learn about the cut beta levels, like Temple of Thoth, that would become the Temple of Te at the end of the Metropolis level. What if there was a level set inside there? By the way, fun fact, the Temple of Thoth level, it does exist, here it is. Yeah, there's a great obelisk from that one Sam Alpha level, that also became the final level of Serious Sam HD's Legend of the Beast DLC. But the actual layout of the Temple of Thoth level, oh, it's actually the Tower of Babel from the second encounter. Because funny how game development can just reuse the same level ties. In the end, the project became a big thing, with a lot of people looking forward to it. I kept releasing trailers and info, screenshots, and then, at one point, it came that they finally released episode 1 of the Egypt chapter, and the demo of episode 2. And then at the same time, I cancelled the whole project. It was 10 years ago now. Throughout the years, I kept getting messages about it when I will release it. What happened? Even a few days ago, people have been mentioning it. So I guess, in the end, I do owe an explanation. Why did I cancel it? Well, for multiple reasons really. One is that I felt that the scope of the project got too large, and many of the levels were just adding little else to the TFA campaign. While I had a lot of people telling me it's great, it's awesome, and they look forward to the rest of it, it was the few less positive and outright negative feedback that was getting to me. Because I could see the problems myself, as someone who's a bit of a perfectionist. The other reason, well, because that's when I was hired by Grow Team, and suddenly my hobby became my real life job. So what happened after? Well, you know the rest. As part of Grow Team, I became the org guy of the community, communicating with the fans and community more than Grow Team ever did since the Classics era. I worked on our Serious Sam 3 Definitive Edition, which became Serious Sam Fusion, with some of the Definitive Edition stuff in Serious Sam 3 remaining in the files, like lore text that was reused in Siberian Mayhem, that's why I'm listed as a writer on that game, from a version of the beheaded Firecracker and Bomber that was then copied over to Serious Sam 4, which is why the Bomber got a hard plus difficulty attack in that game, or the sideways clear projectiles on harder difficulties. Funny how that goes. I also helped with some of the indie games like Crackshot, Serious Sam's Bogus Detour, which led to a friendship that paid off a lot later. And I also worked on that project that I can't really talk about besides the stuff I showed in my portfolio, with permission of course. But then, as always, stuff happened. Plans change, as it was memed. And after 4 years, that project was cancelled. Me and my small team was devastated. I wasn't exactly in the best mental state after that. We were given 3 final months to finish Revolution before we were gone, because Revolution was abandoned by that point. And half of that time was spent with trying to undo an encryption the previous team put on the Bright Island files. We tried our best, and I really wanted it to be a long campaign so that everyone who was waiting for it for many years could feel that it was worth the wait. We tried. I felt that we must do this right and satisfying against all odds. And yet in the end, even with 8 levels, there was supposed to be 10 levels, one was cut, the other we never even started. We had no time to test it at all, that was like a single week, so the campaign was considered a dud by most of the community. So I do appreciate every time when someone does like it and makes a video about it. In the end, I felt like a failure, to be honest, even if all this stuff was technically out of my control. In the end, I still got 1 more year at Grow Team after that, working on the deathmatch and survival levels of Serious Sam 4, but as we all know, all of them got cut, most of them. The deathmatch mode was completely gone, and like only 2 survival levels survived from the 6 or so I made, because at least half of them use like enemies that were cut from the game at the end, as if I needed more of my work just get cancelled or cut or whatever. In the end, I was really at the rock bottom mentally at this point, when my final year was coming to a close. So when it ended, I decided, this loser must leave the community I had built for so many years. It just felt hostile to me at this point. I need to move on. There were many people still asking for when I will continue Serious Sam HD Extended, asking like, when, can you go back? Can you finish it? I just had enough at this point, to be honest. I was completely burned out of the entire series and doing any sort of content for it. So there was this guy called Nevermore. He was the most interested, and it seemed like he was an up and coming mapper. His stuff seemed interesting. There was like potential, like a talent. But I personally couldn't care. So I don't have the conversation anymore, but I think I gave him all my documents and plans and unfinished levels. I don't even remember that much anymore, and again, I don't have the conversation. Probably taught him my ideas and to do whatever. And then, many years later, we are in the present. And he actually did it. He actually finished, if not the whole thing yet, but at least the first encounter part of Serious Sam HD Extended. Who would have guessed? Alright, enough of this sub-story, let's play this shit. It's time to play Extended Encounters. First of all, this is a messy mod, so I will mostly just show some clips and whatnot of me playing through the whole thing. Some ideas, comments, criticisms I will offer. but I will probably also won't show everything. I will just leave it to you guys to actually experience everything, okay? It's time to get serious. So first of all, from what I see from the level list, it seems that he put everything into a single episode, which I don't really agree with. In my original story, there were like 3 episodes of the first encounter bit, and they were basically following like 3 chapters of a story, 3 psychological breaks in action and all that, so I don't know how this will work out. It feels a little bit overwhelming, to be honest. I also see that some of my levels are gone, like the mausoleum level, the canals level. I can see the canals level being gone because it's the least light out of all of them. There is also some problems with the consistency of level naming, which was one of those details that I put a lot of effort into in my version. Wow, so 15 levels of the first encounter campaign extended to 35. This will take some time. So in the intro, mostly the same. Wait, this is new. Is this the Xbox intro recreated? That's kinda cool. Like, wow.
Just once, I'd like to wake up in the morning and not have to fight off Navy. Now that's some serious firepower.
Interesting how I made the extra buildings for this episode to make it more historically accurate, and there is a third new building, so that makes it less accurate, but also it kind of works because who knows what kind of building got destroyed through the years.
Yeah, baby! Serious firepower. This is getting serious.
Alright, so first new level, Rivalry. I've seen that this changed a lot, and it is definitely different. I guess it makes sense to use the Series M3 DLC assets for the level that had a similar feel. Back in the day, it was kind of annoying to port assets over from Series M3 to Series M HD, but Fusion is not an issue anymore. Yeah, most of the stuff that I copied over was from base Series M3 because I think I started working on this level before the Series M3 DLC was out. Wait, the hunter demons were replaced by werewolves? Pink werewolves? Aurigan lycanthropes. So they are like werewolves from the same planet as the vampires from Series M4? Makes me wonder what Twilight must be on that planet. Is Bella a cave demon? Oh, so there is like this side area, like in Series M4 with the weapon in the middle, and it looks really interesting. I remember talking to him about wanting to separate like the quarry part of the level to its own thing, but he just kind of made a completely new quarry area rather than like the different roads. I guess that's how he interpreted it.
I see dead people. Oh yeah!
So I went through the sewers and all these setups for the fishworm got cut.
The hell was
wait,
that?
was cut. Oh wait, no. There's the fishworm. It's converted to metal snake puppet. That's how I originally wanted it if I ever ported the game to Fusion. I wonder how to fight with it though. That's it. I think it's bugged. Like, it only attacked once. And it's just really weak and lame in a way, like, as a fight. Like, originally you had to fight it segment by segment, but I guess it's not possible with a metal snake puppet. But still, it only attacked like once. And that's so quickly, it should be made a lot more interesting. It's a boss, it was supposed to be a boss, make it stronger. Attack more frequently, relentless. Alright, so from what I'm getting, there is no mausoleum level, so it's mostly just Temple of Ptah with its shitty puzzles. Oh, I see, some of the mausoleum was merged into the side area. Yo, I think I found the Maxi gun, finally! This is what I wish I could have done with the original extent. Fusion enables adding new weapons! This enables so much more variety than I could ever put into my original campaign. The planet puzzle is now replaced by the cast statue dusting part. But it seems you no longer need to dust all the statues. It kinda removes like this unique part of this puzzle, I feel. I hope this is not a recurring thing. I've been trying to make puzzles a bit more involved or just a bit cooler than originally, because usually you would just have like flip 3 switches and nothing happens. But Karnov made it interesting that you switch the 3 switches and it like moves swings around and makes like a hole get filled with sand. And it's a lot more cooler than just flipping switches. I don't know. But as it seems like most of the better parts of the 2 Temple platformers were merged, though I kind of missed some of like Breach I really liked on the Mausoleum. That was like the upper part of the temple that was really open. Sacred Gardens. Good to see the map both running great and also not causing a crash when saving. Originally this was the level that really pushed Serious Sam HD to the limits as a 32-bit game. Always got running out of memory issues, especially when trying to make or load a new save game. Usually the best way to play was to restart the game, play this level only, then restart the game after done with the level and load the next one. But at least there are no issues here thanks to 64-bit fusion. Again this thing. He removed the whole using stones to plug the water pipes thing. It's a bit older solution, but it's now just again switch 4 levels and then fight enemies a lot. This is becoming a recurring thing. I hope I'm wrong about this. Ah, this area. This is actually the interior of the gate obelisk from SAM 2000. That's actually interesting that they put some of this from the original design to that one. Oh yeah, SAM 2000, it's actually the alpha. It's how Croteam actually mentions it. Like, if you think about it, if you really think about it, there is no such thing as the Serious Sam Alpha. Or more like there is no such thing as a Serious Sam First Encounter Alpha. Because the original alpha that people know about, internally Croteam calls that as SAM 2000 instead of SAM PFA Alpha. And this is because technically SAM 2000 is a completely different game that was cancelled, and from its bones the first encounter was made. That with completely different levels, completely different story, it's a completely different game conceptually. So in a way we never actually seen the alpha of Serious Sam the first encounter, we've seen the alpha of a cancelled Serious Sam game. And this is completely normal when it comes to game development. Games are always started and restarted and scrapped or redesigned and whatnot. And it's normal for Croteam as well, as almost every single of their games, especially the Serious Sam games, were restarted at least once. The finished games were never the same as the original concept for them. It's just how game development goes. Alright, time to find the Noom. Time to find the Noom, and all the mechanics are gone. It's just, you shoot it, it dies. It's boring and easy now. And this was supposed to be the episode end boss. Like, come on, this is nothing. The Highlander was more interesting than this. I think I originally planned like a phase 2 for this fight, but I never implemented it. Oh well. No, first of the levels that I actually never finished, though I actually included the unfinished level in the files of the final release. This first area, the fights seem to be a bit overblown. Need to find 2 keys again, but there are like so many enemies spawning and so many types at the same time. Seems a bit for jumping difficulty. And this is just the second level of the episode 2, isn't it a little bit too much? Especially after the first level, which was just alley of sphinxes. I hope this is not a sign of what to come, to be honest. Man, the bathhouse is exactly how I imagined it. It feels cozy and relaxing, despite the enemies, of course. Like a little lightning. Feels a bit labyrinthine, but that's how it was supposed to be. Again, have to find some keys and that's it. Originally, I think I planned more, like raining waters or some puzzle, but can't actually remember. Still, at least I'm having a great time. Alright, the shipyard. This should be interesting, hopefully. Oh yeah, starting with the side area, but I think when I modeled it, it was also meant to be a side area. I actually don't remember what I planned for it. I just wanted to model this area because, well, this is that area. The legendary syringe shot that we still don't know where it came from. And I even asked Croteam CEO Roman Ribaric directly back then. And even he didn't remember. He was working on Type DFA directly. And he should know about this. And yet he said it was likely just some sort of environment test level or something. It's really that one thing that we just don't know where it came from. So the style and the enemies on the screenshot are very beta version quality, so it could very easily be like the beta version of Karnak Lake and Alley, as that's the only level we haven't found yet internally. The Roman said that every cut beta level was turned into a level in the second encounter, most of them in the Persia chapter. Temple of Thoth or / Great Obelisk became Tower of Babel. Terrain plus lava caves was turned into Land of the Damned. So Karnak Lake and Alley likely became Persepolis, the original merged version that was later separated into Persepolis 1 and 2, Elephant Atrium and Courtyards of Gilgamesh respectively. After all, Croteam always does this when cutting a level in half, you know, it's all over Serious Sam 2, like so many of the levels, like Chronor got like 5 levels, but originally it was meant to be only 2. There is also Karnak 1 and 2 in Serious Sam 3 that was cut in half. Serious Sam 4's entire Rome chapter was pretty much cut in half, with the exception of the second and third level. And then of course the French countryside, which was originally like the first level of Serious Sam 4, but it became like 4 hours to play during playtest, so they just decided, you know what, just cut in half. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, this area. I love that it was turned into a puzzle though, instead of just endless fights again, or searching for keys. I actually really like this.
Sam Stone, the smartest man on Earth.
This area is different than how I planned it actually. Another suburb, just richer this time. Actually, don't feel decided to exit the ancient, did you? Originally I planned this area to be more like a warehouse or dry docks for building ships and boats, and had this idea of bundles of wood held by these cranes that if you shoot would drop the wood and cause area of effect damage. So it's like a trap you can use against enemies. As the project was getting longer, I was trying to be more and more diverse with mechanics. As in the original Serious Sam HD, I couldn't add new weapons or anything like that. It wasn't supported yet. Is it me or are these battles across this whole area is getting longer and longer? It feels like they are just never ending and they are just coming everywhere with all kinds of different things. Oh hey, there it is, the shipyard area. Wow, it's quite grandiose to be honest. I don't even know where to start. Apparently all the ships are unfinished and we need one finished, but you don't build ships on water, you don't put unfinished ships on water, they by a thing. They are not yet built and balanced and all that. That's not how it works. You just don't put incomplete boats on water. They're built on land and then when completed moved into the water. That's how we made ships back then and that's how we make ships today. That's why dry docks exist. So apparently we need to finish a boat and somehow Sam is able to carry a giant wooden pole with sails and all in his ass somehow. And here are the warehouses. And parts of my original canals level, they are the interior areas, but other puzzles seem removed again, like there was a door puzzle here originally. What's with removing puzzles and making the levels more simple but more boring? Like come on. And that's how we build a ship, I guess. That was different, I guess, somewhat new. I did like the level, it was quite big. I actually got lost in it, which is new in a Serious Sam game. I kinda like getting lost unless I like start running in circles and I can't find anything. I wish there were some quips from Sam when sailing on a ship or something, like I don't know, get off my ship, bitch. Wait, that wouldn't work. This is DFA. At the time, Roman explicitly was against swearing in Serious Sam because it's a game for kids, and he really hated that Sam started swearing in Serious Sam 3 and 4. Alright, plantations. Man, this actually looks great. I remember building the Nile River road, right? The mesh and everything. And I looked here in the empty level, imagining how it might look finished. It's kind of incredible that 10 years later I'm seeing it finished. Despite the problems I'm starting to have with gameplay, this mod just looks great. It's gorgeous. I think TFA never looked as great as this right now. Man, just look how huge this level. It's like, Jesus, we are only like the 5th level in episode 2, and I feel that we are going a way too large and way too many buttons. I remember thinking about it that as much as I like the continuous journey thing, I would have to cut down how much walking you have to do on this level to get back to hard chapter. I guess this mod didn't do it. Maybe we need some quips for kids then, no swearing, like, I don't know, you get on my ship, I make it your hardship. I don't know, I'm not very good at this. Ooh, Raptured Bride. Maybe a bit too early, it's a PSA enemy, but fits I suppose. You may be big, but my boat goes painted. There you go, that's a quip for the kids. Yeah. Oh, this level is all so big and busy in side area. Is that the radar tower of Yuri's? From Red Alert to Yuri's Revenge? What? Spaceships? Are these guys some other faction or what? Or are they like the holy people from like Serious Sam 4? This is getting interesting. Alright, and that previous level was way too large with way too many enemies and way too long fights. I hope this will be a break from that. Jesus, Harold, Father Maya Christ, what is with the battle balance in this mod? Like, seriously, this is getting a bit too much, even monotone and unfun. Like, I thought this was meant to be adrenaline pumping, and there is like no adrenaline left to pump after all this shit. This whole mod is seriously incredible, but the gameplay can often be so... Who are these people?
I was sort of hoping
Is this a new faction? Well,
Is there like another set of alien invaders that I'm not aware of?
They are tough and fast and jumping around casting spells. Corvusian Order? Space Elves? How does Netrixa know this? Wait a minute, that symbol, isn't it the heretic logo? Wait, Corvusian? Corvus? Isn't that... Let me check. Oh yeah, that name of the main character in Heretic, of course. What are the elves from Heretic 2, I suppose, doing here with spaceships? This is it getting interesting. Where will this go? This is completely new, like... What? Oh boy, I'm excited for this one. It's the underbelly. This level was meant to be a unique one. Whole level set in a Syrian complex under the Nile, like a Sirius Sam 3 type of Syrian complex. Of course, being it under the Nile makes no sense because the Nile is a river, so it's too shallow to hide like any buildings like this. But you know, it's space magic, so whatever. Holy shit, it looks big. Wow. Kinda how I imagined it actually, but the scale is something else. Wait, that music. Isn't that the Obsidian Spire? My favorite music from Hammerwatch 2, which is a game I also worked on, by the way. What a weird coincidence. You know, I originally planned this level to be fairly short, like mid-size maybe. I wonder how long this will be. The fights already feel a little bit better paced than the previous levels at least, so here we go. We are still going, it's been like an hour. How much more? It goes on forever.
I see you guys are really happy to see me.
Come on. I'm waking up to ash and dust. I buy my essence, let my nuts.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Huh? What? Am I awake? Am I at the end? Wait, what's
take
going
it you
on?
don't wear
Who
hats,
is this
do you?
asshole? Alright, I think I've shown enough. But I'm stopping. There is still 1/3 of the mod left, and wow, this thing is massive. Sure, it got a lot of problems with balancing, but testing all this must take forever. So I give the project the benefit of the doubt that eventually it will be all fixed up, so the gameplay is fitting the grandeur of this great project. I mean, can I really complain when I kinda send this standard myself? When I play other mods and custom campaigns, even newer ones released lately, I see bits and pieces of my influence. The enemies I made are used. The way I built levels is replicated. The very first thing I released was a 5-level campaign with more than 10,000 enemies, for fuck's sake. I don't know, maybe this is what people want in this community now. This is just what's fun for the current community. I heard that, I read comments saying oh, most of the modding community must play co-op only, so, and seeing footage of them using a bunch of OP weapons, maybe this is just the norm now. And I'm the one who's kind of just out of the loop, who's mostly used like the original games and the stuff I made. So, let's see. Positives. It's gorgeous. Like, seriously, this is probably the best I've seen Zero Sum HD look like. Classic weapons and enemies got facelift, and many levels got extra details. The new levels all in all look amazing, with the later Nile levels especially looking top dead gorgeous. There are also new enemies and weapons, which I take as an actual positive. While the new enemy quality varies from some of the best from my enemy pack to some of the simplest records, or even to the shitty armored beheaded that were a mistake to create. There are many unique new enemies too. Personally, really like the pink werewolves for one, while on the other side of the scale there are the awful purple shadow clears. I don't know what was the idea behind them. Some new enemies are just okay, and there are some that are actually personally insulting to me. Like, what did they do to the Grimwalker? Like, what the fuck is this? Change it back? No! And then there are the bomber drones. Like, what? Where are the cool rotors? Like, come on, change it back. No. Overall, it's good to see new enemies, if they are used well. And some of them are used very well. The Corvusian faction is actually really interesting. They can be a fun enemy to fight. So currently they are kind of usable. Like, they are spawned en masse at you, similar to how regular mental enemies are spawned, and I think that's the wrong way to use them, because they are tough and complex enemies. They need a little bit more thinking in fighting, not too much, but they are different, so I think their numbers should be reduced, because they are like, if mental enemies are mostly just a lot of them but they are weak, then I think the Corvusians fit as a role that they are tough, really tough, but there are only a few of them. There are also a few new weapons, which is new to me, as Zero Sum HD didn't allow new weapons yet, back in the day. I kinda like the pipe bomb from SEM 2000, if really useful, but sometimes in Clashman they were actually quite useful. And the Ghostbuster is really cool, even if a little bit OP. There are also weapons from the new Doom games that seem super OP, but also mostly secrets and side objectives from what I've seen. Maybe they work well. Another positive thing is that it's a great long adventure. This is like not for a quick session like the original First Encounter. This will take you up to 40 to 50 hours. So if you are into that, then it's a positive. Negatives. Well, as I said before, it is a great long adventure, so if you want more of a quick run, or like co-op run, or something like that, I don't think this is for you. But the main negative here, which I mentioned before, everything about the balance is unfortunately still negative right now. I'm not talking about the balance that most of the community pointlessly likes to argue about. Like if the shotgun does 5 damage per pellet or 10 or shit like that that's on the workshop all the time. All that stuff is irrelevant. Core team never cared about that either. I'm talking about the balance of how the enemy encounters and battles were designed. When it comes to battle design in Series M games, there are a few things to keep attention to. Length of a battle, composition of enemy groups, smoke and mirrors design using staggered spawning of enemies and pet markers to create the illusion of large battles with lots of enemies that feel much more bigger than actually they are. That's why there are so many pet markers all around the official levels, especially in Series M3. Unfortunately, extended encounters is currently failing in all these aspects. Battles take way too long. There is literally no clever composition to enemy groups. You just get every enemy thrown into every single battle on the new levels, unrelated if it's the first battle of the level or the last. There are also sometimes battles where there really shouldn't be. Like, you had the biggest fight ever at the end of the level, and then you still have some enemies a little bit later before the end of the level just to fight before, I don't know. It just doesn't allow the player to take a break and take in the sight. Most enemies are just spawned right in front of you, all at once. No tactics, no petting, with 2 large enemy counts, making the fight monotonous and psychologically overwhelming. Like, this is the most important, the actual most important issue. This one needs fixing. And I know it's difficult, there are a lot of levels, they are big, this is a lot, it would be a lot for core team themselves as well to properly balance. Like, this needs like tons of people playing together and reporting the problems. So why I say that this is like the most negative thing and I complain about it all the time. I understand the enormous amount of work that needs to be done just to make this a lot more playable, I feel. I say good luck with that. You really need it. So, do I recommend Series M Extended Encounters? I mean, if you are not a fan, then I guess not, but if you are a Series M fan who knows the games like the back of your hand, sure, go ahead. What's there is really incredible. It's massive, it's a long adventure. Something that you need to pace yourself in playing because the mod sure doesn't pace itself for you. And this is only just the first half. The TFA part, the first encounter. There's still the second encounter to go, which might be the same size if not bigger. Even with all my complaints, I'm still looking forward to it and Holyfield Go. If this is what you're looking for, you might get what you asked for and more, much more. Truth is, this is really not my project anymore. This is not my Series M HD Extended. And maybe that's for the better. With this, the community really doesn't need me anymore. I leave it to the new generation. The next generation, you could say. Still, I did leave a huge, long document to Nevermore with all the criticism and what to fix, full with graphs and going way too deep into the whole thing. Well, I think that's it. This is my one last Series M video. Probably until that one thing is done. I'm looking forward to that one. Well then, there is really only one thing I can say.
I won't forget you, buddy.
Well, that definitely came out of nowhere. I originally planned to do a different video for this month, something about sewer levels, but then this came out and changed plans. And as I was playing this and writing the script, it made me wonder, maybe what I should do is showcase just random mods and fan games and projects like this. I know there are better, bigger channels that do this, but I just want to yap about random obscure stuff I like, and yep, I will do even if nobody listens. Alright, bye.